What's good? Hope you're doing fine. Today we're going to easily annihilate 917 and let's just get straight into the team. So the first unit we need to talk about is going to be Isolde. Isolde can be replaced by any other tank. Their only purpose is to be there and tank damage. Oleg is definitely going to be required, and that's also the case for Vortex. So Oleg and Vortex are required. Medan again can be replaced by any other healer as long as you're able to push the HP of the healer above 32,000, allowing them to survive the AoE of the boss. Calypso is kind of a joker and she can be replaced by anyone, be it a mage, marksman, another fighter. Wrath is definitely required. Same with Volka, but Volka doesn't need to be geared. The only thing you need on her is going to be her A1. And Abomination is also required, but he's quite easy to get, so that isn't a problem. And the last one of the real units we need to talk about is going to be Deimos. Deimos also isn't required. He can be replaced by Salazar or Arrogance if you so desire, and making the run easier. Last unit is going to be Toriel. Toriel is pretty much the same case as Calypso, being a joker that you can replace with anyone really. Alright, then let's get straight into the stage. So, at first look, 917 seems kind of complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on, and yeah, it's a weird fight, but once you start to figure out the mechanics, it's actually quite easy. And yeah, once I've did that, I actually had quite a lot regarding like how I struggled with actually figuring out the fight. So yeah, Oleg's purpose is just going to be blocking that single unit over here, and Vortex is going to be healing Oleg and all the fighters we're going to place close to him. Then we're going to place Wrath, and Wrath's only purpose, at least for the moment, is just to kill the mage over there. And now we need to take a look at this minion over here. Once he starts turning the corner, we can place Abomination, because if we don't wait for that exact moment, Abomination will be targeted, and that's not anything we desire. After the Ice Blast, we pretty much have enough cost to place down a second fighter, in this case going to be Deimos, and then we're just going to start focusing down the boss and placing the second healer, in this case Medan. Now we're just going to pretty much let our fighters do the work, attack the boss, and wait for Wrath to be off cooldown. Then we're going to place down Wrath, and pretty much once Wrath triggers his ultimate, that's going to fill up this bar over here, and the only thing we need to do is trigger all our ultimates really. And then this ultimate attack is kind of random, and it can attack a lot of different people, can have a lot of different outcomes, but if one of your units dies, it doesn't matter. Like no matter who dies, you can still finish the run and just continue like this. So yeah, we're just going to let it do its thing on 2 times, and our units are just going to finish off the boss. The lane down here doesn't matter. As you can see, he despawns our units and all the enemies and gives them into our hand, and on a 10-second cooldown. So now we're going to get straight into the second phase, and yeah, the first step in the second phase is going to be waiting out the 10-second cooldown. And once that's done, we're going to start placing down our units again. So our first step is going to be placing down Oleg. Oleg's there to take the aggro of the boss, and then we can place Wrath. He's again going to deal with the mage, and while the boss isn't attacking anyone, we can start placing down our units, finishing off with Vortex. Once that step is done, again we're going to wait. We are going to completely ignore the bottom lane, we're going to completely ignore the top lane, and we're going to despawn Wrath once he's done finishing the unit in the top left. So now we can despawn Wrath, put time forward, we can easily ignore that healer over here. Yeah, and now we're just going to wait. If you need to, you can activate Vortex and Medan's ultimates around here if your fighter should die, but no fighter should actually die from 20k damage from that minion, because he's just going to hit once. And yeah, Then we're just going to again burst down the boss, wait for Wrath to be coming off cooldown, and then wait for the boss to do one auto attack. So now he's targeting Vortex. That's the time when we can place in Wrath, then a Volka pretty much anywhere, and then finish up by placing Isolde. Isolde is going to hold that minion, and our fighters are just going to make short work of this boss over here. The boss is going to use a special attack, attacking the highest target health unit and the lowest one. So in this case Oleg and Volka, that's why Volka died. And that's also why we're placing Volka, just to tank that attack. So to actually buy our fighters the time they need to just continue dealing damage to the boss. Once the boss goes below 5% HP, he is going to go into his third phase, despawning all our units again, and he's going to give himself a 15% HP shield, and the only thing we need to do is going to be to place down all our fighters, and then we can already start preparing for once the boss is dead. And yeah, make sure to not place your fighters besides Wrath on those purple tiles, because they actually get damaged, so they might be at risk of dying. Alright, while those fighters are going to deal with the boss, we are going to already make preparations for once that is finished. And that's going to be by actually just placing our units like this, letting our fighters deal with him. And that's also the spot where you would, if you want to, use your Joker units. For example, bring in another unit to help with gearing issues regarding breaking the shield, though you shouldn't really have any problems there. Once the shield is broken, the boss is dead, and we're just going to easily despawn all our units. Then we can pretty much forward time, and we're just going to wait for us to actually be able to spawn our units back in. At this point it's pretty much game over, and it's just going to be us putting down units, killing the enemies, and then finishing off the fight. So we're just going to place Abomination over here, Wrath over here, and finishing off with Deimos here. And now we can pretty much run it on auto, and we are done with this fight. Yeah, sadly there's, at least for this fight, which I find quite funny, there is no actual making it faster than 2 times, so we're just going to have to wait it out. Obviously, if you're like concerned with placement, or if you want something to do, you can also despawn your fighters once they have dealt with the units, but there isn't actually any need for that. Yeah, so pretty much we're just going to wait it out and just have our units finish the fight. What you could also do if you wanted to would be then to place down Volka, just if you want to give like some lifesteal. And also I made a little mistake over here. What you want to do is place down Vortex 1 tile below, so he also reaches Abomination. But that's not really of importance. Yeah, so at this point, even if Deimos over here dies and you've triggered ultimates too late, you can pretty much just respawn him in. That mage is going to be nice enough to just literally wait for you, also attacking the tank and not doing anything. So yeah, we're just going to wait for him to stop doing his crap over there, and then Deimos is just going to kill him. Over here we can again activate ultimates. He's going to die. Wrath is going to take care of the guy over here. And Abomination is also pretty safe, even though he's out of range of Vortex. He's just going to kill those units over here. Once he's done with them, he's going to take care of the healer. And that's pretty much already the fight. So yeah, we're just going to let this auto through. And after that we can get into the gear. And yeah, if you want. Alright, had to make a little cut there, kinda butchered my words, but it's not too bad. Let's get into the gearing. So, as you can see, Abomination, we're going to obviously start with Abomination. Abomination isn't anything impressive. He pretty much has a lot of attack speed, alright-ish attack. The set doesn't really matter, it only gives him crit rate. So yeah, as you can see, Abomination isn't like anything special. Deimos, I obviously ruined my Deimos set for you, like to try to like get down gear requirements. So yeah, he's still on 100% crit, 150% crit damage on around like 200 something attack percent, but I deactivated the set, so I just put in a random piece that isn't from the set. I did the same for Wrath, pretty much kind of swapping their pieces really, just to like get down the gear requirements. But yeah, as you can see, Wrath has now around 82% crit instead of like obviously close to 100, still around 110% crit damage and around 300-ish, a bit less attack percent really. Yeah, the other units are also quite straightforward. As I may have already talked about, it's going to be Medan. Medan, we just basically gave her as much HP percent as we could. The substats didn't really matter. And also, Medan is only a 5-star unit. So yeah, obviously if you have a 6-star unit, she's going to heal more, but that's not necessarily required. Vortex, nothing on Vortex is really required besides him just having HP and obviously healing effect. And then yeah, Isolde is pretty much just in standard tank gear, giving her around 280% HP, around 100% defense, and that's pretty much the same for Oleg, also giving him around 80,000 HP on around plus 100% defense. Besides that, skills obviously are going to be maxed out pretty much. Besides Oleg's ultimate, that's the case for all the epics we've showcased. And yeah, if you're curious, Abomination is pretty much just upgraded with what I had until Dust. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it unit-wise. And especially if you feel like you're struggling with the end shield, the last 15%, just get in another fighter, get in the magic damage healer, and just have them help you clear the shield. So yeah, that's it. I hope that helped you out, and make sure to easily clear 917 and get that divine summon. Hopefully you get something nice, or you save it for the 2x banner, which would be the smarter move. See ya!